Hello and welcome to the debrief where we discuss, well, I was going to say we discuss the match the day after it's taking place, but it actually taking place earlier on, didn't it? Kick off at midnight, so it happened first thing this morning. Anyway, it finished Manchester United 2, West Ham United 1. We're going to have a little talk about that, have a little talk about some player performances and see what you're all saying in the live chat. You're joining me live, and thank you very much. I appreciate it as always. Do get your thoughts into the live chat. Anything about West Ham. It doesn't have to be about the match in particular. So any thoughts you've got, get them in. If you're watching this a little later on Sunday, Monday, possibly Tuesday, get involved in the comments underneath the video. Don't be shy. This is the show where the Hammers Chat subscribers have their say. Speaking of Hammers Chat subscribers, if you have yet to do so, if you're new around here, please do subscribe. You're watching this on your TV. It's a little bit fiddly to subscribe while you're watching it on your smart telly. Get your phone out. Go on your phone, subscribe via your phone. I would appreciate it. Anyway, drop a like on the video, click thumbs up button. Right, I've delayed it long enough. Let's have a little chat. Let's start with the midfield. I know people will say two things. I know what two things are going to come back at me here. One, it's only pre-season. Now, I think that's applicable sometimes. I think if Wan-Bissaka had played rubbish all pre-season, I would say it's only pre-season. I wouldn't be concerned. But one of my biggest issues last night was the midfield. And I think you cannot apply it's only pre-season to that. Because in doing so, you're suggesting that when we go to play Sunderland, things will improve because it's now a competitive fixture. And I will not subscribe to that idea at all, that if we were to play Rodriguez, Souček and Ward-Prowse against Sunderland, against Chelsea, and they'd go on to have a really good season, they'll do all right. I don't believe it. I do not share that opinion at all. So the whole it's only pre-season, I do not think is applicable to what we've seen in the middle of the pitch last night for West Ham, up until the subs were made, of course. The other thing I know, which is going to come back at me here, is why are you surprised? I'm not surprised. I am frustrated a little bit. I am also quite calm because we can address the situation. If this was September, October, then I'm going to be really frustrated and stressed out because there's nothing we can do about it. But it's not. It's the end of July. We've got over a month of the transfer window left, so we can address this situation. It can be solved. But I have a big concern. Now, for those that didn't watch the match, what I will say, I'll just run through my review very quickly. 2 goals conceded, both gifted to Man United. 1 goal scored with Jarrod Bowen, a great goal from him, a fantastic strike. It was that good. I thought it took a deflection. It hadn't. I think defensively, we were okay. I wouldn't say we were outstanding, but I don't think it was that bad, bar Kilman in the first minute getting done by Højlund. There was a lot of individual errors / sloppiness though. Tadebo's concerned me. I don't think he looked good at all. The midfield was poor, and as a result, it impacted the rest of the team. We couldn't get the ball from defence to attack. Füllkrug and Bowen were just anonymous, but I'm going to let them all. I'm giving them both a pass. Now, I don't like Bowen as a striker, but I'm going to give them a pass for this because we were just not getting the ball. Whenever I've seen Füllkrug, he was coming back into midfield to pick the ball up. Now, he was partly at fault for their second goal, Man U's. I'm not going to say he wasn't. He stood there waiting for it rather than going to it. But I do think the major error lay with Areola. But when we made the changes, things improved. We got better. I'm delighted with what I've seen from Freddie Potts. Now, I like what I've seen from Firon, right? I like that too. But I'm not going to say, brilliant, let's get Firon into the squad next season. I don't see it. Like, leave him in the academy, leave him at under 21s level, developing his game. Potts, he's developed his games. He looked fantastic. I would like to see much more of him this pre-season with an eye on him becoming, regular next season. But they brought a lot of energy. I thought Scars brought energy. Guilherme did as well. I thought Paqueta was looking good when he came on. I thought Mavropanos looked good when he came on. I was pleased with the substitutes from West Ham last night. Not so pleased with the starting 11. And that midfield remains a big concern. For those that have been tuning in, they're probably sick of me going, you're always banging on about the midfield. I am, and I won't stop. I'll keep on saying it. And also the goalkeeper, but I'm sort of leaving the goalkeeper topic a little bit because I want to discuss it in a separate video because we've been linked to quite a few of them, which has got me excited. I'm still predicting we're going to go for Hermansen. I'm still predicting that. Anyway, I can't remember what I was going to say now, so I think I'll just turn to the midfield. That's it. Here's my concern with the midfield, because we haven't gone for anyone yet. We've been linked to quite a lot of them. We'll possibly go for one of the players we have been linked to. Almost difficult not to. When you're linked to like 60 different midfielders, probability suggests we will likely eventually start bidding for one of those. Remember the one I got right, not the 59 I got wrong and all that. But here's my concern. I think we need two. I think we need two midfielders. So we are not anywhere close to offloading any midfielders. I don't think we're close to offloading anyone. I think Emerson's the one that looks likely to go next, considering he's not even in the States. But if you look at our current midfield, so we've got Rodriguez, Ward-Prowse, Souček. No talk of any of them leaving. We've got Alvarez. Quite the opposite. There's talk that no one's bidding for them. We've got Lucas Paqueta. Because we're going to play the formation we played last night. Although Potter's been playing Paqueta as a bit of a striker, false nine, whatever you want to call it, I prefer to see Paqueta in that midfield three personally. Then we've got Andy Irving. So we've got the three that started: Alvarez, Paqueta, Irving. Now we've got Potts, right? So we've got 7. If we were to bring in 2 midfielders, 9 midfielders, that's just, you can't have that, right? We cannot have 9 midfielders at West Ham. So I do think there's a pressure at getting some of them out of the team, out of the squad, sold, out the club. And I don't think there's anyone coming in for them. But we're going to have to be bold and we're going to have to be brave. And that is sign midfielders. And if you still can't shift who you want to shift, come down the window, you're just going to have to loan them out. You're just going to have to take the financial hit on the chin. It might be that you loan out Rodriguez, and obviously his contract expires next summer. So you're basically doing what you've done with Kurt Zouma, which is loan him out for the final season, and he just doesn't come back to the club. Maybe we'd have to do that with Rodriguez. I actually think one of the players we're most likely to sell is probably Irving, because the fee we would command will be a handful of million. There's a lot of clubs that could afford that and would be interested in Andy Irving. But we need midfielders, plural, more than one. We have to. And I won't stop about it, because I'm insistent that is our issue. I think if we improve our midfield, we improve a lot. I think if you took Rodriguez, Ward-Prowse and Souček out of the midfield last night and replaced them with 3 good midfielders, I think we play well. There were some things I liked last night. I'm actually feeling okay about the performance, because I have the belief that if you change the midfield, we'll be better. Now, saying that, I do want to just add this. I think Ward-Prowse played all right last night. I think Rodriguez was poor. I think Souček was anonymous, even though he set up Bowen's goal. But I thought Ward-Prowse had a good game, and I thought he played well against Grasshoppers. So he's had a couple of good performances. I just want to say that. For fairness, Simon saying, agree, more evidence from last night's game that we need a couple of new midfield signings and replacement for Areola, who's having a dreadful pre-season. Not convinced by Fulkrug and Bowen as a 2. Chris is saying, no service to Fulkrug. He had to drop deep to get the ball. Normal service has resumed. We just have severe problems getting past the halfway line. No pace, no ideas, and nothing. Robin saying, we may well have 2 youngsters we saw last night that could solve this problem, but they won't get a game. Clayton said, actually thought the kids that showed the starting midfield what they are lacking. I agree with that. And he also saying that the back three does not suit Bowen. He has to play it wide, and Guilherme's no wing back or whatever position Potter had him playing. Clayton reckons Guilherme is a number 10. Massive is saying, I know we're going for a keeper and we need one. Why are we not getting centre midfield over the line? Our penny pinching owners, that's why. Elliot is open to the move. We know how much we have to pay. We need to do it. Colin saying last night was the first time he actually thinks we need a new goalkeeper. Don't really want to blow the 15 to 20. I'm not going to say a name, right? I'm not going to say his name. But there was a subscriber a couple of months ago called me deluded for saying we need a new goalkeeper. And I find deluded a very strong term. I don't like using that word, because I think it's a very, very strong term. It's basically saying you're mentally struggling or something, like your opinion is so far gone. It's just, anyway, deluded. He said I was deluded for wanting a new goalkeeper. Last night when we were doing this, he was in the live chat saying that we needed to replace Areola, and he's kicking off that we don't have a new goalkeeper. Anyway, maybe I'm no longer deluded. I've been downgraded to slightly stupid. Anyway, Adam can't believe that we spent 40 million on Max Kilman. Wasim is saying, it's been a while since I've seen you, Wasim. Thank you very much for joining me. Pleased to have you with us. Said, thought the starting midfield was all wrong. Should have changed it at half-time. I think he might have done performance-wise. I think he maybe just left it for, building up the fitness of the three that started. But also I do agree in that we've seen a big improvement. I'm also hoping that we see different ones start against Everton. Ryan saying definitely work to be done, especially on communication. What annoyed me was that we only concentrated on the right-hand side. We hardly used the left. I think we did when Skulls come on. I think Agard switches the ball a lot. So I think that sort of prevents the build-up down the left-hand side, because when he gets it, he's looks for the long diagonal to Wan-Bissaka. And Todibo doesn't do that. It's not like Todibo's doing it to Diouf either. So we are quite lopsided. And obviously down there we've got Wan-Bissaka and Bowen. It's probably also just, I was always say habits, but Agard wasn't here, was he? So last season. Peter saying Kilman needs to be dropped. I think a back three of Agard, Mavpanos and Todibo is better. Roger says Potts needs to start. His performances for Portsmouth were decent. Would back him over Ward-Prowse or Rodriguez. Dean saying Paqueta absolutely has to start in the middle, with Alvarez playing deeper and one other new midfielder with pace and power. All it says, Potter can't see that our midfield is poor at best after the kids came on and changed the game with movement and pace. He must do. He spoke about Potts and Veron in particular, which is good. Natty said, worried that our next confirmed signing is Wilson. Doesn't inspire confidence in the rest of the transfer window. Whereas Mike Cole is saying it's the midfield. No mobility and cannot transition between defence and attack. We need ball carriers and power. But why have we not done so since Kudus has been sold? Paul saying that midfield three cannot play together ever again. Slow, pondering, boring. Problem is, the formation is blunt and Bowen, so we have the wrong manager again. And that's on Sullivan. Robert saying Walker Peters. He was available for this one, Robert. He was on the bench. So I think we'll see him possibly start against Everton. Jordan saying, I don't think Potter will play his midfield. We can see it's rubbish. So Potter will know it's rubbish. Thank you very much to Epiphany for the £5 super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Says only saw from 40 minutes onwards, and there were some promise there. West Ham are 3 or 4 players off being competitive. The new Brazilian kid looked good, though. Anyway, I just want to take this opportunity to point you in direction of our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/HammersChat. And if you join up in Patreon, you will get additional video content. There'll be a player ratings video from the game this morning. We do player ratings every single game. We're not really going to grade the players. We're just going to discuss the players' performances from the Man U fixture in more detail. So if you're thinking, yo, why are you not discussing Kilman or why are you not discussing Fearon more? Because we're going to do it on Patreon in that video. But if you want to get entered into our July giveaway on Patreon, you've got to join up in the next few days, and it's got to be a paid one. You can become a trialist, but you won't be entered into the giveaway. You have to pay money in July or have an annual subscription, which covers the entire month. The top prize, as our giveaway on Patreon for July, they're over there. It's a pair of match-worn Mark Noble boots. There's also a signed Mark Noble shirt and a signed Mark Noble's captain armband. 3 big prizes and 3 other prizes as well. There's 6 prizes up for grabs on Patreon this month. If you're a Patreon, you're automatically entered. It's from £3.60, less than £1 a week. So if you think, I like Hammers Chat, I hope they keep going, please consider supporting Patreon. Without Patreon, we wouldn't be able to produce as much content as we do. So a massive thank you. Patreon.com/Hammers Chat. The reason I'm doing these promotions to this video, because there's no adverts. You're watching this live. If you're watching it later on, there's adverts, but you're watching this live. So right now it's 12:45. There's no adverts. There is, before you come into the video, there should be one. There better be one, otherwise it's £0 I'm earning. But once you're in, no adverts. Due to feedback, complaints, I turn them off. Bad for business. But if 2 people, 3 people join Patreon, I get a couple of super chats, then it's worthwhile. So hopefully you enjoy it. Right, Colin. Potts could be crucial for us. Hopefully gets a good run in the side. Colin Yair saying midfield is a mess and losing the ball in the wrong place puts the defence under more pressure. Need a keeper, 2 midfielders, and a striker. Todd saying we need a new defensive midfielder, a new midfielder, a striker, and a goalkeeper. Bowen can't play up top. We look in trouble. James is saying the midfield's crap. No service for striker. Bozo keeper. No wonder people are negative. We still haven't addressed our main weaknesses from last season, and the new season starts in 3 weeks. Colin is saying I'm right to bang on about our midfield. Yeah, but am I deluded? Am I deluded about the goalkeeper? Patrick saying, look like the same squad. Oh, right, it is. Areola must go. Tadibo was disinterested. It's going to be a long year again. Robert saying Tadibo kept going into midfield pressing but getting caught out. He wasn't very good at it. He wasn't very good at it, was he? Ryan saying, in his opinion, Potts is good enough to start for us week in, week out. Pierce has watched Gonzo react to a match he hasn't seen and still have better insight. I got scammed a bit by him. I seen his video come up. I put it on. And he's, because yesterday we did the breakfast show and he said, oh, I'm probably not going to watch it. It's on too late. So I thought, oh, he's watched it. Then straight away, he's like, I haven't watched it. I fell asleep. I thought, oh, okay. So it's quite, we've got to have a review of 28 minutes of Gonzo watching the game. Comment, your irons are saying, how do you offload Ward Person Rodriguez? Well, I think that's the issue, really. Todd saying, Onyedika and Fernandes would be a good partner in, and literally at the exact same time, James is saying they would be great. Fernandes suits us more than Harvey Elliott. Simmons is struggling to find anything he likes about how Potter approaches games and his insistence on speaking positively about setting up negatively. Robert saying Alanga just scored for Newcastle against Arsenal. I didn't even know they were playing. John saying not a great game against a Man U team. It wasn't very good. Starting 11 was terrible, and Areola was awful. Defence and midfield were lackluster and treacle-like. Why are we still starting Rodriguez? Lee saying Ward-Prowse and Paqueta will play better with the right players around them. A big yes to the winter. We need an upgrade on our centre-backs. J-Dog saying Potter's not stupid. He's playing this old, slow midfield guard, demonstrating to the board. See, this theory comes around quite often, J-Dog. I've heard this in the past about different managers and different things. Never believed it. I struggle to think Sullivan watches that and goes, better spend big on the midfield. I don't believe it. I think he would, if anything, he's probably going, the manager's not very good if he can't get this midfield to work. I don't think it sends a message. If anything, that's cutting your nose off to spite your face because you're hindering the likes of Potts getting game time pre-season in order to make a point. If you want to make a point and you need new midfielders, start Freddie Potts, start Preston Fearon, and start Lewis Orford in midfield against Everton. Don't play the rest of them. That sends a message to the board, which is, I need a new midfield. I'm not happy with this current collection of players. That's how I see it anyway. We're allowed to disagree, and that's okay. You may be right. I just don't see it like that. I think you want to send a message, you play the kids, you don't play the senior players. James saying, I know the defence make a lot of mistakes, but we looked a lot better defensively under Potter. It's non-existent midfield and attack that needs work. Can't quite save our lives. I struggle to evaluate anything with this current midfield. Robert saying, who said Souček can't pass? Did you see the ball to Bowen? Yes, but I don't think it was not a Kevin De Bruyne assist, was it? I think it'd have been difficult for him to not pass to Bowen. We'll leave it there. Candy saying, what is Somerville's going to be played out of position this season, leading to him being disgruntled and looking to leave? Nutty saying, I don't want us to buy any new centre-backs because that money is needed elsewhere. Midfield must be the priority. Potts needs more game time. I agree, we need 2 midfielders. I was saying, Areola looks like a dead man walking. I think he knows he's going to be replaced, and it shows. Worst I've seen from him. Hopefully we do get a new keeper in. Rising, if we do get a new keeper, he'd rather have Cooper than Hermansen. CB saying Tyler Morton would be a better shout than Harvey Elliott if we were to pick a Liverpool player. He's a decent young defensive midfielder. Yeah, but the thing is, if you're going to play Morton and Potts in midfield, I can't see it personally. Maybe. Column saying, who's next to go? Who's next to be signed? I think Emerson And can we just ignore Wilson, right? Can we just ignore that part? So I'm going to say Emerson and Hermansen. Don't know. Just got a feeling. Got a feeling Hermansen's still the one. I know we've been linked to other goalkeepers. At the minute, I'm happy with any of them, to be honest with you. There's not. Aaron Ramsdale rumours disappeared, which I'm delighted with. So the 3 names that are being touted at the minute, 2 of them I'd be delighted with. The other one I don't know enough about, but I'd be happy with it, especially if it comes to replace Areola. Michael saying goalkeeper gives 2 goals, centre back slow, midfield non-existent, forwards no supply, no energy in the team until we brought on the kids for the last 15 minutes. And thank you to Paul for the £2 super chat. Saying no club is buying our midfielders, massive wages. I think this is a problem. I think this is the big issue we've got now. Because we do need to offload at least one of them, possibly even 2 of them. Because as I just said, if you bring in 2 midfielders, we will then have 9 midfielders on the books, and that's not including Lewis Orford. That's not including Preston Fielding. Now, you could make the argument that Potter sees Paqueta as a striker, therefore he's not part of the 9, so that number becomes 8. And the pre-season friendlies would suggest that's where he does see Paqueta playing, which concerns me a little bit. I have my own theory as to why this is happening with Paqueta going up front in friendlies, but it's just a theory. There's no evidence. There's not even a rumour. Well, it kind of is, I suppose. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. Alex is saying Potts and Fearing were an absolute breath of fresh air. It was so refreshing to see some intelligence, pace, and urgency in the middle of the park. I thought they were fantastic. The pair of them were absolutely fantastic. I think the way Potts was picking the ball up and receiving it on the half turn, moving it really quickly. Do you know what I also have seen today? I've seen a lot of praise for Potts from non-West Ham fans. I've seen Liverpool fans, I've seen Man U fans saying, who's this guy? Because they obviously they don't know who he is, and that's okay, right? I don't expect fans of other clubs to know who Freddie Potts is unless you have a vested interest in the Championship. You're probably not going to know who Freddie Potts is, and that's all right. If I was to tell you Winterburn is a central midfielder for a certain Premier League club, which Premier League club is it? Some of you will be able to go, I know who that is, Gio. I know who Winterburn plays for. But I think a lot of you will go, I don't know. And that's okay. You're not expected to know who he plays for. Bournemouth, out of interest. But you get my point. Anyway, I've seen a lot of good words from non-West Ham fans for Freddie Potts after yesterday's game. A lot of them are saying, hang on, who's this guy picking the ball up and passing it? His movement's really good. His passing's really good. And I think having Fearon on the pitch at the same time helped him as well. They look like they had a good bit of chemistry. I doubt they've ever played together before, Fearon and Potts. I'd be surprised they've played many games, if any, together, given that Potts has had a couple of years on loan and Fearon's only been here for 4 seasons now. So I think it's feasible. And also when he did come in, he would have been in the under 18s and Potts is in the under 21. So I don't think they will have played in the same team. Probably there's somewhere a game they've played together, but it won't be much. But I thought they were linking up really, really well. Happy Hammerette Kerry says, a midfielder that we could not even offload this season for a measly 2 million starting is a massive concern. Areola has quality. It's pre-season. He will come good. He's an experienced international. You'll think I'm deluded as well. You can join the club in the Gio is deluded club. It's a growing number. Todd's showing off that he knew it was Bournemouth. The quiz says he didn't say anything. He just put £5 super chat in, which is very kind of him. He just did the cross hammers. That's kind of you. Thank you. Liam saying a lot of the youth scout users were saying after his performance to watch out for Freddie Potts. Michael saying our best centre back in that game was Mavropanos. Been our best centre back under Potter, in my opinion. Mavropanos, just like for the entire duration Potter's been here. GBO saying thoughts on Alvarez being repositioned as a centre back. He's played there before. As long as you get good midfielders in, I'm okay with experimenting that. I wouldn't say no, but it depends on bringing in midfielders. Thomas says, I watched up to 66 minutes on Sky and had to give in and go sleep. Anyone aware of you can watch a full replay? I keep hearing the last half hour is promising. check, Thomas, can you put a comment on this video like 4 or 5 p.m. tonight, and I will reply with a website which might have it. I need to get, I don't know the exact URL of it. It's on my phone, so I'll have to, I could maybe get it for you. Rupert saying Areola is so bad, same as last couple of years. Should have kept Fabianski 1 more year. Get Leicester's goalkeeper or anyone, please. Anthony saying we've got fast and creative midfielders we need, but they have to start. And the blend and balance in midfield needs to be honed. I can't understand why Souček is not being sold. He is a donkey. Alex is saying, I'm assuming that long-term Potter plans for this box-style midfield from Brighton, but you cannot use any two of that midfield, so he chucked them all in. I'm not deluded. Disappointed. It's natural. Oh, I'm not disappointed by Areola. I haven't been a big fan of him. I've been wanting to replace him for a while. I'm not that. I was not surprised by yesterday. Ian saying there's a replay on Sky at 6. That's a highlights show. That's not the entire game. So there is a highlights thing up. I think there's a half-hour one, 1:30, I think, as well. Maybe on Sky, 1:30 till 2. There's a half-hour highlights package, but you'll get to see some of the passing, but you won't get to see all. This is the last 15 minutes. You're going to probably have to watch the entire duration of the game. Colin saying didn't know anything about featuring before last night. How bad is that? Happy to be surprised. That's all right. You're not expected to know everything, Colin. Don't worry about it. It's not bad in the slightest. I don't think it's a bad thing. Mark saying Kilman's lack of pace is very concerning. Maybe we need to keep a good. He got downed, didn't he? Do you know, like that chance in the first minute when Kilman and Højlund went in a race. Kilman had like a 3-yard head start or something and got comfortably overtaken by Højlund. Did not look great, did it? Stephen saying, do you think the board was waiting to see how pre-season went? No, I just think they're perhaps not very organized and also not very good at negotiating, and also don't want to buy players until we sell players. That's how I see it. Wetty saying, do we think the first 11 is Potter's future starting 11? I think if we were to play Sunderland today, I don't think you're far off with that as the starting 11. You would assume Paqueta would start. But bearing in mind we've seen him as a striker, maybe it's Füllkrug he'd start over. And I think that might be what you get. So we played Sunderland today. I think you would take Füllkrug out, put Paqueta in. I think that might be the starting 11. Maybe Alvarez in place of Rodriguez. But I never really felt that Potter was sold on Edson Alvarez. So that one's an unknown quantity to me at the minute. But we'll find out more. Alvarez should be back tomorrow and able to play on Wednesday if he wishes. There you go, Connor. That's it. Put it in the chat for Thomas, please, and anyone else that's wanting it. That's the website. Thank you. Has it got the game on there, Connor? Has it got the full 90-minute match? If so, put it in the chat and I'll get up on the screen for people to have a look at. Lewis saying how underwhelming has Taribo been? The hope and excitement of when we signed him has not amounted to anything yet. I still can't tell if he's good or bang average. Yeah, he's been underwhelming, hasn't he? I thought he struggled last night. I don't think he was very good. Sweet said, I think they got found out for pace last night, plus poor passing and caught in possession. Epiphany said, I think it was Fearing that I was actually impressed with, not Guilherme. Sorry, not as familiar with the West Ham team, but the guy it was Fearing, yeah. Here you go. For anyone that's wanting to see the entire game, that's the URL there. So go to fullreplays.com/friendly/club friendly/Manchester United versus West Ham. It's there. You can, if you're watching this on your phone, here, some people don't know this trick. You're watching this on your phone, take a screenshot right now, and then go into your gallery. And if you hold down on that text there from Connor, it will highlight the entire URL for you, and you can just paste it into your browser and you can go watch the game. So there you go. That's a good website. That website there. Note it, save it, There you go. I'll leave it up on this. Well, I can't actually. You've had your chance. Rewind, screenshot, sorted. Thank you, Connor. Much appreciated. Yes, we are having a Sunday lunch today, actually, because been getting a bit of a row that I've not been spending enough time with them. So I'm gonna make a roast chicken for a late lunch. It'll be late in the afternoon, before the football's on. Then football's on at 5 o'clock. Thank you to Phil. Says Gio's at least deluded vlogger on the internet. Cooper and Hermanson coming down. Thank you for the kind words, Phil, and also the £5 super chat. I'd just like to confirm, Phil is not related to me at all. I did not ask Phil to say this. He's just, ironically, he's deluded and he's a nice person. But thank you, Phil. I appreciate it. Right, before I wrap up, I just want to point in the direction of our closing down sale. The shop will be going very, very soon. I don't know when. Long story short, on Patreon, if you're an addict, you get a free mug this month. So if you join as an addict on Patreon today, you can get a free mug. So it costs you £12 to join, and you get a mug that should be a tenner for free. It's one specific design, though, which you cannot buy. You can only get it as an addict. But I've ordered them. Once they arrive, I'll distribute them to the addicts, and then we're going to shut down the store. So it could be this week, might be next week. I don't know. But once they're here, that's when we can get that. I need to get those addicts mugs out before I can shut down the store, because all the orders are sat on the back end of the online store. But if you go to hammerschatstore.com, we've got a closing down sale, trying to get rid of quite a few things. There will be price reductions maybe Tuesday if there's things left. Nearly sold all the Christmas jumpers. Mrs. Gio's buzzing. We've had one big box, and we had 3 medium boxes. Then we had 2 medium boxes. We've only got 1 medium box in the bedroom now. 1 medium box. We've got rid of most of them. One design sold out. We've only got 1 design left, and I think there's only a couple of sizes, although there is like 6 or 7 garments in that size. But go have a look. There's stuff. We are selling things less than cost price. Have a look. There might be some things you like. Todd saying, here's the money. Where's the money going to come from for the players we need? It's worrying. We must have some already. We must have some money, because we've sold Caduce. We've arranged an overdraft facility so we can borrow up to roughly 140, 150 million. Not ideal, but the cash flow is there if we need it. So I think we're all right. I feel quite confident. I feel confident we are negotiating for players right now. We just don't know who they are. I think there's a lot of guesswork going on. And I said this the week before last about, and literally that day, we then signed Kyle Walker-Peters and no one knew about it. I said it in the morning on the video that we're going to sign on the Mug of Tea as well. I did with Gonzo like 2 days before. I said, we will be talking to players. We will be. I don't believe they're all sat there doing nothing. Right? I don't believe it. Whether I think they're good enough at it, different conversation. But do I think we are contacting agents and players and clubs? Yes, 100%. So we will be in talks. If it's Hermanson, if it's Cooper, if it's Harvey Elliott, if it's Tyler Morton, if it's Callum Wilson, I feel confident we'll be doing negotiations. I think we will sign more players, but I'm just hoping that we get a move on. So we should be okay to get some players in. Robert saying, what did I do with Grace when I watched the game? I covered it in there. I'm doing a behind the scenes vlog again this week, and I covered it in there. So 2 nights in a row now, because obviously I did the Paqueta video on Friday night. So last night she went to bed at normal, but she was between 6:30 and 7. She went down, went to sleep, and then at 11 o'clock-ish, between 11 and 11:15, I had to scoop her out of her bed and put her in our room, and she had to stay in there until I was finished work, which was just after 2 in the morning. About 2:15 in the morning, I went back through, scooped her back up, and put her in her cot. So she's had a couple of nights disrupted sleep. So that's why I'm in the bad books today. That's why I'm making a roast dinner for Mrs. Gio, because 2 nights now Grace has not had a good sleep because I've needed the room for work. I'm in the bad books. Roger saying senior source not leaking info. Not yet. I think there's a lot of guesswork going on personally between the those in the know and whatnot. I think there's a lot. I think the players were being, like I said, the players were being linked that we will sign. I bet we have been linked to them, right? But I think there's a lot of guesswork going on just in case it's someone else. So if it was Hermanson, no one's doubling down saying it's definitely Hermanson. That's it. It's Hermanson, but it could also be Suzuki. It might also be Cooper. Oh, we like this guy. We like this guy. Oh, Zetterer. We like Zetterer. Oh, Stefan Ortega might be leaving Man City. let's link us to him as well, just in case. I think there's a bit of guesswork going on personally. Mighty saying Premier League starts in 3 weeks. You can understand why some fans are getting worried about the transfer activity. I'll completely understand. Michael saying Carlton Cole said 3 incomings in the pipeline. Hopefully. I don't know how much he will know. Obviously, he's employed by the club and he's involved as a loan manager, but whether he's actually, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. Steve saying, even if the answer isn't Potts, what's clear is the answer will never be that midfield 3 again. I like that comment. If I see that combo, I'm turning back home. Well, hopefully you don't fly out to America to watch the game and then you've got to turn back home. That's a long journey. But I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to love you. I'm going to leave you. And I'm going to, before I go, just going to appreciate it. And I want to appreciate these 5 people. Actually, Ray's just popped in a last minute super chat. Here we go. Big question. What is your go-to Sunday roast and what's your best Sunday roast? To be fair, I prefer beef. Beef's my meat of choice, but Mrs. Gio's chicken. So we're going down the chicken route. I'm honestly, Ray, I'm trying to get in their good books today. I am on the naughty step and then some. So I'm making it up. So we've got the chicken, homemade Yorkies, carrots, parsnip, roast potatoes. Don't know what else today. I don't know if we've got anything else. Bit of gravy, of course. That'll do. I think that'll be fine. That's an all right roast dinner for me. But like I said, I prefer beef. She prefers chicken. She wins today, Ray. Anyway, thank you to Ray for the £5 super chat. Thank you to Phil. Thank you to Quiz. Thank you to Paul. And thank you to Epiphany as well. Massive. Appreciate it because everybody's been able to enjoy this video live without any adverts. Thanks to you, lovely lot. Right. I'm off. I'll be back. I'm hoping to be back later. Depends how I get on with Mrs. Jill. But if not, I'll be back tomorrow. Please do drop a like on the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Damage Chat. And I shall catch you in a bit.